Good morning. How's everybody today? It's Monday. I don't know what your weather's like, cars. It's been raining off and on all morning, kind of like, the kind of Monday you don't want to get out of bed. That's what we're having down here. Got to finish this one kind of quick. I got to try and call Social Security one last time and get a no answer, of course. You've all sat around and watched the stories about how Trump is going after Harvard University. Now, people are trying to figure out, what's he going after this great institution for? Some of the greatest lawyers in the history of America have come out of there. Well, there is a possible reason. I'm not sure everybody's going to agree with me on this, but there's a person Trump has hated since before he first ran for president. That's Barack Obama. He claimed for the longest time that Barack was not an American citizen and couldn't run for president. The reason behind that appeared to be racist. In case you don't know it, Barack is a black man. With his father was from the Congo, so he's pretty, he's an African American, basically, which I don't think that's the polite way of saying he's a black man. Anyhow, he went through that for years and years. The whole time Barack was in power, or president, I should say, he kept claiming he wasn't eligible to be the President of the United States because he wasn't born here. Even after all of Obama produced birth certificates that get, long, short versions, whatever he needed. That's it. I'm an American citizen, and go away, Donald. And then he won 2 elections as president, and Trump wasn't happy about that. And again, it appears to be racial in nature. Okay. That a black man can be more popular than a television star. Well, guess who? Barack and his wife both graduated Harvard Law School. All right, and I'm just saying that it would appear that Trump, being the vengeful prick that he is, he's probably pissed off at Harvard for graduating these guys. He's got to go after somebody. He can't go after Obama. Obama's far too popular for this moron to go after him. Congress tried to prove different stories about Obama. Obama's basically a clean guy. So is his wife. Now, there are rumors floating around that there's problems in that marriage, and I doubt that seriously from what I've seen of them up in person. But you know what? They've got their kids grown up. Their careers are about as accomplished as they can possibly be. Although I would have loved to have seen, and I still would have loved to have seen, when there's a Democrat in office, that she gets appointed to the Supreme Court, because she's probably one of the most qualified people in the United States. She was a constitutional lawyer. So, she has that going for her. But, Trump doesn't go after her either that much, because he knows what's going to happen if he does that. His political career will be completely gone. People love Obama. The majority of people in this country don't like Trump. Some will go even further, like me, will say they despise Trump. That he's just a waste of space on this planet. That's me. That's not everybody. I don't know other people how they feel. That's just my personal. Let's do something about this guy. He's claiming now. Getting back to that's one reason why that's going on, and I don't know whether Harvard's got the money to stand up to somebody if Musk throws money at him, the lawyers, so who knows what's going to happen there. But I will say also that Trump is getting desperate. He's now saying that his tariffs will eliminate the need for income tax. Well, I'll tell you what. Whatever money you save in income taxes, you will be paying for products that he places tariffs on. Okay? And he said that the word is that the tariffs would have to be even higher than the ones that he's calling for, in order to make up the difference in taxes. Now, if you go after the loopholes in the tax laws, and go after the little guy who takes advantage of, go after the big guy that takes advantage of them. The corporations and whatnot raise their tax rates. Will profits go down? Is it possible the economy will shrink slightly? Yeah, it is. But I think it's more possible that if he's left to his own, I don't know how to say this, but if he's left alone and he goes on and does what he wants to do anyhow, Trump is more dangerous than high taxes. Trust me, he will destroy this economy. He left after his first term. The economy wasn't a sound economy. The economy was feeling the effects of everything he had done earlier in the term. See, that's the thing. This is what's gonna cause the next president a lot of grief. They're gonna come in and they're gonna say, "Well, we want this reinstated right away." He can't do that all at once. It's easier to destroy than it is to repair. Okay, first of all, you have to make sure these people get re-vetted that were fired. You can't just bring them back. They should be re-vetted. Their position should be deemed necessary. Because I do believe there was waste in federal government. I tried to get into civil service when I came out of high school, because if you got into civil service back then, you had a job for life. I'm going to be a postal employee for life. Now it's not the same. They're not civil service anymore, I don't think. Civil service is somewhat different now. But, you don't have to worry about a job for life because they couldn't fire you. It took an act of Congress to fire a civil service employee back then. So that's changed a lot, I think. And I think I think there's waste. There's laziness. I don't think there's a ton of corruption. I think there's a lot of laziness, waste. I think you have to understand these jobs are not exactly stimulating intellectually. I mean, the Forest Service is a job that's a physical as well as mental job as far as I'm concerned. But I'm not. That's me. But you've got people that want jobs where they can just sit and do basically nothing and make a livable wage, get raises automatically and everything like that. When I saw an example of that when I worked for Chrysler Credit, and I was in the Auto Workers Union, and I got the same benefits they got. I basically didn't do half of what they were doing. I worked a 40-hour work week. They didn't. I worked, I didn't get overtime. They did. But my job wasn't dangerous or anything like that. I sat at a desk, made phone calls. Bored the shit out of me. But that's, what some of these jobs are. And they're boring. So people don't work that hard at them. And with the advent of technology and artificial intelligence, whatnot, a lot of those jobs aren't going to be necessary. All right? They'll be basically more about handling appeals to decisions made by the machines, But like I said, I don't disagree with the administration that there's a waste in government, but not to the degree that they're claiming. But there is waste there that should have been addressed. And could have been addressed in a civilized manner. Not in this throw the bums out type deal, you know? I don't know what happened there. That was just really a horrible deal there. So that's, you know, that tax thing is just Trump's delusions of grandeur. I don't know too many economists. I don't know a lot of economists to begin with, and the ones I know don't sit there and tell me that tariffs is a great thing. Tariffs were designed to stimulate growth in the country and to offset companies like Toyota. When they first came in, could make a better car cheaper. Our labor costs are far too high. Our cost of living is extremely high. And if you look at other countries where your standard of living is similar, the cost of living isn't that high. Some it's greater, and some of it's greater, yeah. And the standard of life is not the same, you know. But you look at Japan; it's a safer country than here in terms of violence and crime and whatnot. And their cost. Tokyo is the most expensive city you can go to in the world. There's a lot of things about the economy I don't understand, but I do understand that if you continue to abuse the workers and fire them and torture them like he's doing right now, you're not going to have you're just not going to have the workers. They're going to leave. There are other emerging countries, growing countries that can use these people and will pay them a very good paycheck. Okay, much better than they're getting here. Especially scientists. How do you go around firing a scientist? You know, what, because he didn't produce a cure for cancer right away? Keep telling you people, some things you're never going to see a cure for because it kills people. I don't know. That's a sad way to look at life, really is. But that's, some of the things I think that are going on. And, you have a president that's really trying to settle personal grievances with the Obamas by taking on Harvard University because they won't do exactly what he tells them to do. See, that's Trump. That's what Trump's always wanted. I'm the boss. Do what I tell you. You're fired. That's how he had that attitude long before The Apprentice came on. And that's why his businesses fail, because good people don't stay around him. Bad people stay around him, but good people don't. All right. I got to go make a real quick phone call and everything, so I'm going to close now with my usual spiel. Please, if you've liked this video in any manner, shape, or form, please subscribe. I do come out with a good one every once in a while, trust me. I even have funny ones every once in a while. But, you have to wait till football season to see some of them. But we basically just talk politics and life in general here. So if you have a topic you'd like me to research and discuss, I'd be more than happy to do that with you. You have a question you want answered, I'll try and find the answer for you. That's why I'm here. Hit the comment section. Ask the question or whatever, and I'll get back to you on air here. But hit the subscribe button, please. It doesn't make me any money. I have to go. There's more people than there's it's possible for me to get before I'll start making any money, and there's most of the sponsors I don't really want to deal with anyhow. So have a great day. It's a Monday. Stay sane, and I'll see you tomorrow.